gonna buy $400 worth of clothes and go put down $1 a month. I still got stuff on layaway from 1973.
Laughs come so naturally to Sinbad, it's hard to tell whether he's on or off. When we met in Los Angeles recently, it seemed Murphy's Law was in effect. The actor-comedian was early, and I had stepped out for coffee.
We see what's going on here, don't we?
His hit movie Jingle All the Way had just been released. He co-stars with Arnold Schwarzenegger as fathers who wait until the last minute to do their Christmas shopping. And closer to home, you may recall Sinbad as the MC of Morehouse College's annual fundraiser for the past 2 years. Stand-up comedy is where 40-year-old Sinbad got his start. He uses real-life situations, and unlike many comedians, he likes to keep his routines clean. Sinbad's first break was an appearance on Star Search, but his big break came from a chance encounter.
These are the new teams. Me, Jaleesa, and Leslie against Romeo and Juliet and Dumbo.
You may recall Sinbad in the role of dorm counselor Walter Oakes. A Different World was a spinoff from the hugely successful Cosby Show, but that wasn't his first encounter with a popular sitcom.
They had an ad, they were looking for a comic to warm up a studio audience. I've never done that, but I said, I can do that. So I lied. I'm sitting there, and they're all sitting there. I said, yes, I warmed up many studio audiences. And the lie started getting good to me, so I kept going on, you know. And then I mentioned the names, then I said Magnum P.I. Now, that thing was shot in Hawaii with no audience. And they just looked at me. I said, thank you very much for, I said, I got a little carried away. Thank you for talking to me. And I just got up to walk out.
But producers liked him, and during one routine, Bill Cosby unexpectedly walked onto the set.
And I couldn't even speak to the man. I acted a fool warming up the audience, and he said, this man needs to be in front of the camera. 2 weeks later, I had an airline ticket.
His work on A Different World led to his own short-lived series, and then came small parts in feature films. But he kept plugging away, going after role after role. Luck was just not with him, he thought, even when he got a chance to audition for Jingle All the Way. Well, what did you do in the audition that you thought was so bad?
I had just grown a mohawk. I was in New York, I had a little mohawk. And I wore a helmet because I went rented a little mailman's costume, I had a little pith helmet. And I came in, and in the middle of doing this audition, the helmet flew off my head. And I just saw them look at me, and I'm thinking it can grow back. And so then I'm doing the script, and the script fell out of my hands. It was like God was just knocking stuff out of my hands. And I said, so I just started going berserk, and Arnold was just looking at me. And I said, well, thank you for talking to me. And I ran out, I almost tripped running out the office. And my brother was waiting for me, who was my manager. I said, man, I quit, man. I'll never do this to myself again. I said, I tried to take a little uniform off. I said, never rent none of this little stupid costumes again. And then got a call 3 days later, I got in the movie.
You were perfect.
So it was like, it worked out, man.
Teenagers, y'all don't know, y'all don't even know what y'all got. Got so much stuff, y'all be in the room. Oh, I forgot about this. You didn't forget about nothing in the 70s. You knew everything was. There's my one sock. There's my one nice shirt.
Sinbad was the second of 6 children, born into a working-class family in Benton Harbor, Michigan.
You weren't even allowed to go shopping. Now you got clothes in the 70s, you come home from school and your stuff will be on the bed. You'd be like, Mama! I can't wear this, I'm like, Jerry! I don't wear this, Jerry, I'm 13! My mother be coming up the stairs. Hey! Mr. Don't have a job, can't buy nothing for himself. You ain't got to wear the shirt.
Sinbad says he was strongly influenced by his parents, but especially by his preacher dad.
So my dad wasn't just a preacher. My dad worked in factories. My dad would hold 2 and 3 jobs. My dad used to ride motorcycles when I was a kid. My dad was the kind of guy, taught me to play basketball, was a tough cat, used to box, told me you got to take care of yourself, but he also was full of love. He was a cool cat. Being the preacher's kid what got me in trouble. I was just crazy. I think if my dad had just been working as a plumber, I'd have had some problems.
When did you first show this streak in you to perform and to be the class clown?
About 4.
What did you do at
4?
four?
I was 4 years old. I remember I got a whooping, but it felt good because my brother laughed. And I said, I can make him laugh. And that's when I realized I could act a fool and make somebody laugh.
So how did that translate into high school? Were you always in the principal's office?
No, principal was my friend. I was like I was president of the National Honor Society and chemistry major, but I was the kind of guy that made everybody else act a fool. And I had fun, but I was one of those kind that was stupid. I mean, you got guys who do some dangerous stuff. My thing was, as long as it wasn't malicious, as long as it didn't hurt anybody, I just believe in pushing the wall and pushing challenges and making people think about what they're saying to you. And plus, it was my way to get attention because I was goofy. And I never had the girlfriend. I never had a cool car. I never had cool clothes. So I decided if I wasn't going to be cool, I was going to be so far to the other side, I had my own thing going on.
But the comedy was not the only thing you had going on because you were a star basketball player.
I was a basketball player. I wanted to play pro ball. But I was this cat. I was a workhorse. And I think it prepared me for where I'm at now. A lot of times, you're not going to be the guy that they talk about. But I was there, and I was consistent. And if you'd taken me out the formula, the team would have been the same.
He played college ball on scholarship at Denver University, but injuries cut short that career and he eventually dropped out. While trying to figure out what to do next, Sinbad did odd jobs.
I used to, right before I came home, I was driving an ice cream truck. I went and got a job, and we had we drive. But they had said the black neighborhood was off limits, the black and Spanish neighborhoods, because the guys were getting beat up driving ice cream trucks. I said, I would drive right to the edge of the black neighborhood. That's where my uncle lived. I said, there's money to be made in there. And one day I just turned the thing off and turned on a boombox, and I drove into the black neighborhood, and kids, ice cream man! They hadn't seen ice cream man in 3 years. I made a killing.
He later joined the Air Force, where he performed regularly at base talent shows. By that time, he knew he had found his calling.
We ain't had nothing to kill nobody for in the 70s. Did nobody want your raggedy jacket? You ain't never seen anybody kill nobody over a Kmart jacket. Give me your raggedy, no zipping up jacket. Here, take it.
Sinbad is private about his personal life, but family remains important. All 5 siblings are his business managers. He's divorced and has joint custody of his 2 children, Paige and Royce, seen here with a playmate.
Are you a strict parent?
Yeah, I'm tough. I'm tough and I'm fun, so my kids know, as long as they're like doing what's right, we have fun. But they know.
Now, wait a minute, how can you define what's right when you were so bad?
I know what's right, because I know what I was. And I realized even when they're right, they're going to be bad. So I said, my dad was strict, and I came out this way. I better stay on him.
Sex and the single parent, what are the rules of dating now?
There's no dating. It's just quick, go to movie, don't like her, don't see her no more. Man, you're 40. It ain't like, let's make this thing painful. It's like, look, it's halfway through the movie. Look, I don't even like you, and I know you don't like me. So why don't we just leave the movie and act like it never happened?
How have you remained centered?
God just made sure I didn't make a lot of money. I keep waiting to have that big blockbuster movie, and God's like, no, you're going to still shop at Targets for a while, and we're going to keep you ready. So I look now, I got angry. I said, man, why come I couldn't make that, that movie, that boom, that got you to the $20 million movie? It was always like, people look at me because my name's been out there, Sinbad, you're the man, you make all the money. I said, no, it ain't like that. I said, I'm still out here working. But I think because it took so long, and I have to work for it, and I have to fight for it, I still have that anger I had when I was just trying to make it. I'm still angry. I still go into meetings and can't figure out why they can't get where I'm coming from, but that anger makes me go, and that anger makes me move. I think when you lose that anger, otherwise you become a different kind of angry. You get to a superstar, now you're angry because you're almost late. You become a strange, angry person. Well, these drapes are red. I did what red? Bobby, get the blue drapes. Now you come like, oh man, what's wrong with him? I'm still going like this. It's okay, we don't have drapes, it's okay. Can I be in the room? So it's like, I'm still got that kind of anger. What, can I go in the room? I don't care what kind of drapes they are.
He recently turned 40, and that milestone age seems to have only increased his drive and ambition. In fact, the only roles Sinbad really wants to play are either action-adventure or the kind made famous by Cary Grant.
Yeah. Well, what about cocktails? 6 o'clock suit you?
Well, we can talk about that on the way.
To where?
To rent you a villa.
And the cool cats, It Takes a Thief, they're going to remake that movie. Now, I know when I ask them to do it, they're going to look at me like I'm nuts. But I'm still going to ask. That's the kind of stuff I want to do.
His next role isn't exactly Cary Grant, but as a cowboy, Sinbad sees some action. You can catch him in HBO's Cherokee Kid starting Saturday night.